Hi guys, it's time for another episode of It's Crow Time. Episode number 42. We're going to be joined today by Mr. CJ Stayton, frontman of Riders Forward. We'll talk to him about how he got started, and it's definitely an interview you do not want to miss. So sit back, relax, kick your feet up, and get ready for the Crow Time experience happening right now. Hit it. All right, folks. So, in breaking news, as many of y'all might not have heard, the wait is over. You wanted red dirt? We are giving you red dirt. Here is the 2023 Calf Fry Festival lineup. It's going to be Casey Donahue, Parker McCollum, Reed Southall, Giovanni and the Hired Guns, Larry Fleet, Mike Ryan, Caitlin Butts, Cameron Marlowe, Tanner Usrai, Treaty Oak Revival, Charlie Hickman, Wyatt Flores, Cam Allen, Hoosier Brothers, Tyler Halverson, and then the Battle of the Bands winner, and that is happening May 4th, 5th, and 6th in good old Stillwater, Oklahoma. Now, if you want to get tickets, you can get your 3-day VIP and GA ticket options are available now at www.calffry.com. Single-day tickets are to be released on February 28th. All right, folks, and I think we got a special word from Uncle Gordy himself.
Hey, y'all, this is Gordy from Highway 30 Music Fest, coming to you live from Texas Motor Speedway. We're going to hold a music fest October 19th through the 22nd. You're Gordy? You're Cody Jinks.
Can I come to your festival?
Absolutely. Would you like to come be the headliner?
October 21st?
Yes, Saturday night.
I'm in.
You're in? Hell yeah. You know what, y'all? We got Cody Jinks. We're going to announce him as our first headliner for October's show, and I am so excited. God bless. Take care. See y'all real soon. Bye.
All right, that was Uncle Gordy announcing when they announced the first headliner, Mr. Cody Jinks, on Saturday night, October 21st. The Thursday night headliner has been announced. It's going to be Brothers Osborne. And again, that'll be Thursday night. So, if you want to get your tickets for that festival, you can head over to in Stephenville, Texas, at Melody Mountain Ranch. That's right, folks. It's once again time for Larry Joe Taylor's 34th annual Texas Music Festival. It'll feature Co Wetzel, Shane Smith and the Saints, Randy Rogers, Mike Ryan, Josh Abbott, Colby Cooper, William Clark Green, Corey Kent, Caitlin Butts, Roger Krager, Treaty Oak Revival, Kevin Fowler, Tanner Usrai, Red Clay Strays, Randy Foster, Courtney Patton, Josh Weathers, Slade Coulter, Jacob Stelly, Bree Bagwell, Gary P. Nunn, the Tejas Brothers, Gracie York, Tommy Iverson, Larry Joe Taylor, and many more. You can go get your tickets at www.larryjoetaylor.com/Texas_music festival_music/festival/ticket/information. And you can also get your 3-day pit passes. There's 100 of them left, so go grab those. But I think I got them all. So that's all the festivals coming up. So great live music to get out there. And of course, in Idaho, you've got the original Highway 30 Music Fest. So if you're out in Idaho, go experience Uncle Gordy. And if you like what you see, come on down to Texas Motor Speedway October 19th through the 22nd, and you won't be disappointed. We now have another artist to announce for Gordy's Highway 30 Texas Edition. And let me tell you, folks, you know him from the Snake Farm. That's right, Mr. Ray Wiley Hubbard will be playing Sunday, October 22nd. You can get your tickets right now, once again, at highwayhwy30tx.com. There will be a limited number of 4-day passes for the limited time price. Once they're gone, they're gone. Ticket prices will go up. You can get yours before they're gone for that $259 price. And also, June 16th through the 17th, it's once again time for the Okie Noodling Festival. And you know what that means. It's once again time for the Okie Noodling Concert Weekend. On Friday, June 16th, doors will open at 5 p.m. Admission to get in there is $25. But Cat Hasty will be starting the night off at 6:30, followed by the Eli Young Band to wrap up day number 1. Day 2 on Saturday. Music will start around 8:30. It's free all day. You just got to pay $5 for parking. You can't beat that when you hear these bands for $5. Opening up at 8:30 will be them boys from Cotton County, Mr. Ganning Freeman and CC Rev will be opening for Shane Smith and the Saints. Once again, this is the Saturday lineup, and it'll start again once again at 8:30. You can get your tickets for Friday at okienoodlin.com, or you can go on their Facebook page and there's a QR code that you can scan. It's taking place at Wacker Park in Pauls Valley, Oklahoma, so you don't want to miss that, especially Saturday. You only got to pay $5 and you get 2 great bands. All right, let's raise some hell and celebrate the outlaw in all of us this September with Turnpike Troubadours and Whiskey Myers, Gary Allen, Ryan Bingham, Randy Rogers Band, Lucas Nelson, and POTR, and Randy Hauser, and so much more. Head over to our website and sign up to get first access at our pre-sale and access to Phase 1 pricing kicking off tomorrow at noon. BornAndRaisedFestival.com. Again, this is the Born and Raised Music Festival happening September 13th through the 16th. And it's going to be in Pryor, Oklahoma. So you're not going to want to miss that. Once again, that website to access that pre-sale is bornandraisedfestival.com. If you want to see the whole lineup, head over to their Facebook page at Born and Raised Music Festival, which I will also have linked on this episode. With that being said, I think it's time we take our first break. We'll be right back. Have you heard of the new company right here in Wichita Falls called What's Up 940? They'll show you the latest deals and steals and the hottest events right here in the falls. Just go follow them on all social medias at What's Up 940. And joining me now is going to be Mr. CJ Stayton. Stayton, sorry. Of Riders Ford. What's up, man? How you doing?
Oh, doing well, sir. Every day above ground.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. So, how long have y'all been doing this band for?
Oh, 2008. So over 12, 14, 13. Let's call it 13. I saw 13 years.
13 years.
Months here
and there. Oh man! So, how did you personally get into music?
Oh, always been musical as far as lyrically and vocally. I grew up on the road in rodeo, so the majority of time spent traveling with the radio on, and my mom likes to say by the time I was 3 years old, I could sing every country song that came on the radio.
Did your dad rodeo or did your mom?
Yeah, Dad was a bulldogger, and then he transitioned to being a barrel clown later in his career. He had some back problems from steer wrestling, so he won. He qualified for that NFR 1 year, and he won the Great Lakes Circuit Championship, and and had the back problems. And then we went into more entertainment side of it. He became the Barrow Clown, which is like the comedian for the show. And me and my sister, we were trick riders, doing all the vaults and stuff on the horses and whatnot. That was many moons and many pounds ago.
Oh man! So, did you grow up in Oklahoma, or?
Yeah, kind of. Grew up on the road mostly, but when I went to school, it was in Oklahoma.
Oh, yeah. So did you get to ever see like Lane Frost or like Tuff Edeman ride or any of them guys?
Yeah, that was a little after I'd gotten out of it, so it was like friends of friends, and see him on TV, saw the movie.
Right. I mean, what Oklahoman hasn't seen 8 Seconds yet?
If you don't cry at the end of Old Yeller at 8 Seconds, no heart.
That's like my wife. I saw it on. I was like, "Oh, sweet 8 Seconds." She's like, "I've never seen that before," and I was like, "What?" Of course, she's from Texas, so I mean that explains it. But I mean, Texas is a big part because Kelly Kyle is from Quanah, of all places.
Yeah.
Every time we used to go, every time we went to Quanah, I'd be like, "Home of Kelly Kyle." Oh goodness! So where'd you go to school at?
Northeastern Oklahoma, a real small school called WANN with a WANN. I didn't realize I had to specify until several years later, and tell people where I was from, be down in Texas. And, I was like, oh, JUAN? I was like, huh. No, I didn't see that before, but I get where you're coming from, but no.
The Indian spelling, not the Mexican way.
There you go.
Well, that's like, I graduated, I'm from Chattanooga, and they're like, Tennessee? No, Oklahoma. They're like, there's a Chattanooga, Oklahoma? Yep.
Yeah, well, I grew up around the general area of Miami, and I always said that they pronounce it Miami because it's too close to Missouri.
Yeah.
And then I found out it's for the Miami Indians, and the is actually pronounced wrong. I was like,
yeah. That's how the Cubans spell it. Oh man, that's funny, dude. Yeah, so I've been subbing up at a high school around here over in Burke Burnett, and there's a student in there, and they asked me, they're like, "Where are you from?" And I was like, "Oklahoma," and told them Chattanooga, and they were like, "We got to talk about Oklahoma towns," and they said something about Miami, and I said, "No, it's Miami." And they were like, "What?" And it was like this girl. She's like, "No, it's not. That's where I get my pigs." And then she pronounced Tecumseh Tuscumí or something like that, and I was like, "Girl, we gotta have." So we had a little history lesson right there, pronouncing Oklahoma towns. Oh man, it's funny. It was an act, so it was all right.
right.
Yeah. Oh man. So when did you decide that you wanted to be in a band, basically?
Oh, I kind of messed around with music for since high school, and when I was overseas, we joined a little band that was going on for a couple of years there, and I was like, oh, that's like my first real band. So when I got back, I had some friends, and they were all rock guys, so it was a rock band. And, we did that for a couple of years, and I just would be singing, and screaming some Foo Fighters or something, and then pack everything up, get in the truck, and I'm listening to Steve Earle and Pat Green. And one night it was just I just sat there, I was like, what am I doing? Like I'm doing this to hang out with my buddies, but this isn't this isn't my music. You know,
Right.
they make music and I write some lyrics to it, and but it's not like from me, I guess. You know?
Right.
And I was like, all right, well, fellas, I'm gonna go do my thing, and started putting my band together. Took a couple of years to get the right group of guys, and once you do, that's the hardest thing. It's just finding good guys who aren't, no egos, no agendas, just like playing music, and everybody's has their thing, their speciality, but we're all pulling in on the same rope in the same direction.
Mm-hmm.
And playing with people you like, that's who also happen to be really talented musicians.
Right.
That's a hard recipe to find, man.
Yeah, people don't realize how much chemistry plays into the part of a successful band.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, definitely.
So, you said you're playing overseas. Where was that at?
I was stationed with Air Force, and I was stationed at this place called the Azores, which is, if you draw a line between Maine to Spain, it's about 2/3 of the way.
Maine to Spain.
Yeah, there's a group of 9 islands out there in the middle of nowhere, and for those who are old enough to remember Jacques Cousteau used to go to the Azores all the time. There's a lot of whale sightings and stuff, and it's just an archipelago of 9 islands, and lived 2 years on an 8x12 island that kind of looked like Ireland. Very rock walls and very green, and never got too hot, never got too cold. And it's nice. It's nice.
Sounds real nice. Well, thank you for your service, man. And yeah.
Service? Didn't you hear the part where I said I was in the Air Force? That's a lot like being in the military. Or so I'm told. You know, I still get my pay. I'll take my 10% discount at Lowe's, but didn't really do much to earn it.
And you get your free meal at, what is that, Roadhouse every Veterans Day?
No, because that's just not worth the hassle. I'd rather pay for it on a day that everyone isn't there.
Oh yeah, I don't blame you. Or of course, I guess Golden Corral would have more military people there, you know, with the free buffet.
Yeah, just drive on by. It's like I avoid any place that starts with a Mick or an O on St. Patrick's Day, except for, like McDonald's is probably fine, but try not to stop there either.
Yeah, unless you want diarrhea. Oh goodness, that's funny. So did the Spaniards like you playing over there? Did they like y'all's music?
Oh, so it's actually Portuguese. So Portugal is a country on the western coast of Spain, and they won their independence from Spain, like, don't give me a line, 1500. And so they're very, very touchy about, comparing them to the Spanish, because it's like, oh, Portuguese is it's like Spanish, and they're like, no. That's like saying Italian and French are like Spanish. They're romance languages. I'm like, yeah, but yours really sounds like Spanish.
Yeah,
I got a bunch of Mexicans where I'm from in the United States, and they kind of sound like you. They don't sound French, and they don't sound Italian. They sound like you.
Well, that's like here in Texas. Talking about there's a bunch of Mexicans. They look Indian. Like it's just I don't know.
Are.
Right, but
the Europeans came from Europe, and then there was people who were already here, and those are Native Americans, and they had children together, and it just so happens that those one happened to be south of a land that would be created later.
Yeah. Yeah. But yeah, you talk about Portuguese people. We had a couple exchange students when I was in high school come from Brazil,
Oh yeah.
and that's just amazing that not even it's weird how it's not nowhere near Portugal, but they all speak Portuguese in Brazil and stuff, and
Oh yeah. It's really weird to think about how small Portugal is, even smaller than England and Great Britain. Um, how at a certain point in history they were the dominant power in the world because of their exploration and their sailing, and that Portuguese was like the second or third most spoke language supposedly, and it still ranks pretty high. But yeah, they kind of little country kicked a lot of ass in a little bit of time.
Yeah, that's like Belize in Central America. They speak British. That's just weird.
Yeah. They speak British. You mean they speak English?
I mean English. Yeah.
Like here, we speak American. Yeah. They speak the British.
Yeah, they don't speak that American language. That's like those. That's like, but those Italians, man.
I don't speak Italian. That's what I said. You speak third most Italian.
Yeah. Pizza, spaghetti, and Alfredo. There we go. Oh man, who knew this was going to turn into a history lesson on here?
There you go. Well, I'm a big dork, so that's my wheelhouse.
Oh yeah.
So anyway, music, right?
Yeah, music. Yeah, that's what we're talking about. Oh man! So you get back here and you're playing the rock band and you decide you're like, guys, I don't think this is not my type of music to play.
Yeah, because the whole I was overseas when the early 2000 Red Dirt movement was happening, so ragweed and everything had already kind of hit, and so I didn't even know about that stuff until I got back. And like I said, when I got back, I was doing the rock thing. So, I was listening to this stuff and going, oh, that's cool. I like what they're doing. And they're, the dudes from around here and everything. So, story of my life, got in on it a little too late. Started my first country band in the late 20s. It's like, oh, man.
So
we did a radio tour for our first album, and was cruising around. And I remember one of the DJs in Stephenville, Texas. I mean, the first thing is like, it's like, you boys are a little old for this to be your first album, man. I was like, yeah, about that.
Yeah, you see, we were big over in Portugal, but
I was busy defending your freedom.
Yeah.
From sheep and whatnot. Yeah.
That's what I was about to say. So I was going to say, so when y'all were playing overseas, so were y'all playing for like, instead of money, were they giving y'all goats and stuff?
I think most of the things we did for pretty cheap or pretty free because it was just like they liked doing it.
Right.
There's a bunch of people who then were in their 30s, I want to say, and they did a lot of what to me was classic rock and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
The stuff that I listened to in high school, I guess that's now classic rock. But back then, it was like Janis Joplin and stuff like that.
Oh yeah,
it was really cool because everybody kind of was like, "Well, what do you want to do?" And everybody kind of got to sing a little something. There's really, I think at one time we probably had 10 people in that band.
Golly.
However, it's a small base. There's only one bass band, and everybody's like, "Oh, I played." Yeah. So you got 2 drummers and 4 guitarists and 2 bassists and a keyboard player. And 3 girls on tambourine.
Oh man, so you almost had like the small Trans-Siberian Orchestra or something.
It was well. I mean, it was fun. I don't know how good we are, but it was a lot of fun. And it was my first band experience, but the people I was in it with were actually pretty good musicians, so it was fun. Learned a lot.
Well, that's good. Uh, so what was your first country band called?
To be technical, my first real country band is this one, Riders Ford.
Oh, well.
But before that, I had a project transitioning out of the rock thing, trying to put a country thing together. And so it's kind of, it was like country and rock. And, we were drinking one night, like, it was like country and rock. It's crock.
Croc?
So she was like, yeah, but you got to spell it with a K at front. We got to put an umlaut over the O.
Yeah.
These were all great ideas when you're drinking.
Yeah.
And
that's where all the good.
We started playing shows badly, and doing like a Johnny Cash song at double the BPM with distortion.
Mm-hmm.
It was just stupid ideas, but. Later on, somebody spoke German and was like, your band is, the way you have it is pronounced like Kruk. I was like, oh, not Kruk. We are crooks too. So that applies.
Oh.
That ran its course, and then I was like, okay, I'm going to do this thing and make it like my music. That was just a cover band.
Oh.
Drink with the friends and play stupid music. Play good music stupidly.
You're like, we're gonna put this over this O and make it look like Motley Crue, and then it's like. Oh man, it's like people see that they come out, they're expected like like hard rock songs like Crue, and then they hear y'all play like you said, Folsom Prison. They're like, "What the hell is this?" Oh man,
it's an interesting journey, and so getting to Riders Ford was quite an adventure in and of itself. And then doing this for the last 13 years, that has been it's been the highlight of my musical career.
That's awesome. So y'all y'all opened for some pretty big shows. Haven't y'all?
Oh yeah. We've done. I'm a little older, so I was really awestruck getting to do. Playing with Sawyer Brown was cool, and Restless Heart was cool. A lot of the Red Dirt guys, of course. Cody and the Departed and Brandon Jenkins and all those guys. But for me, I'm looking at that '90s Nashville country acts that we've got to play with. It's really neat to go up there and play, and then I just sit there and watch like a dork.
Like a groupie fangirl.
And I was just like going back to the bus and like, no, I'm gonna stay right here, side stage, and just watch Bessie and House. Are you kidding me? Shit.
Y'all played with Jackson Tillman a few times, didn't y'all?
Oh yeah, good friends of ours. They're not together anymore,
right.
But man, they were really good when they got rolling. They were a force.
Oh yeah. Jeremy and all them guys are really good friends. I saw Jamie the other day, and we were talking and stuff, and he came up and he's like, "You're the one that sings, right?" I was like, "No, that's my brother." He's like, "Oh yeah, that's right." Oh man, yeah, them guys. I still listen to that Vagabond album like constantly.
Yeah, but before that, they were in Redneck Brown.
Redneck Brown, yeah.
And I just remember hearing that name, and I was like, "That's a mouthful." It is a great and very memorable name. Fit on a billboard, but Redneck Brown and freshwater donkeys.
Yeah. I think that's where they came.
The saltwater donkeys, which, not as good.
Yeah. But that's at Southwest Oklahoma coming out,
Oh, yeah.
But yeah, that's where they came out with like You Can't Say, and it's just, which that song was just golden. I don't know how it didn't go platinum.
Well, when you get that group together, I mean, I've always compared Jeremy's voice to like just a smooth bourbon. He's got his own signature sound that's just something that I'm very envious of.
Yeah.
I think I can do a lot of things with my voice, and maybe that's the problem of, I'm all over the place, and he is just in that sweet spot pocket. I'm just like, when he starts singing, you know exactly who it is. It's kind of like, Don Williams or, Wade Bowen. They have very, there it is. That's the dude.
Well, it was kind of weird. It was kind of funny. So, first time I heard She Plays Me Like a Slow Song, I thought it was Cody Johnson at first. I was like, damn.
It's funny because, I've known Jeremy before I was into Cody Johnson's music.
Mm-hmm.
So, I kind of have it kind of backwards. I was like, oh, this guy sounds like Jeremy stuff. Now, granted, Kojo's, on TV and we're still down here playing the bars in Oklahoma, but, we're working on it. We're working on it.
Yeah, that was awesome to see him Monday night, and then seeing Giovanni and the Hired Guns.
Giovanni and the guys.
Seeing old Milton, yeah.
It's funny. It's like we needed a bass player for a show at Tulsa, and got a hold of a guy and scheduled and everything, and then he was like, I'm not gonna be able to make that. I just got picked up to go on tour with Luke Combs. And
wow.
And so he, we're friends on Facebook, and I'm seeing his post. Well, ironically, Luke Combs, guitar and songwriting partner for, that's in his first band member. His name is Tyler King, and he's from the Warren area too. His first motorcycle was my hand-me-down Yamaha 50s. I've known this kid, his dad and his aunt are, great friends. So I'm scrolling through Facebook, and here's, the left side of a Luke Combs stage, and from the right side of a Luke Combs stage is rubbing it in, and here's AT&T Stadium just packed and scream. I'm like, you lucky bastards.
Well, that's like I had Matt Williams on here, and he was telling me that he played guitar for him, and I was like, really? He said, yeah. No, it was Luke Combs, but I was like, I didn't know that. He's like, yeah, that's pretty cool. No, it was Jelly Roll. That's who it was. It was Jelly Roll. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, but I was like, that's pretty cool. But yeah, that's crazy that I didn't know Tyler King was from Oklahoma.
Yeah. I mean, he's, I think he went to Bartlesville, but no, his roots are out in
the lawn. They good old northeastern Oklahoma. I used to go up there a lot. We'd go float the river, but I got family in Wagner, so
okay, yeah. On the other side of Tulsa over there, that was quite a bit south from us. That was downriver quite a bit.
Oh, so y'all are like way up there.
Yeah, like I'm talking 10 miles from the Kansas border.
Wow.
So close. My first son was born in Kansas, which I regret.
Kansas.
Just kidding, Kansas. I got a lot of family up there, so I gotta give a shit.
Isn't it funny though, like Oklahoma, how it is like you're saying y'all are close to the Kansas border, and then you just go a little bit, like what I was talking about, you go a little bit south and you're almost in Fort Smith. I mean, it's just it's crazy. But yeah, our great old state.
It's not bad. I've talked a lot of trash on Oklahoma throughout my life, but I do not allow other people to.
Exactly.
But, it's it's kind of like music. Not everything is everybody's cup of tea. Like, there's a lot of very successful musical artists that I don't get the fascination with, but evidently millions of people do, and that's fine. Oklahoma may not be for you, but it's for me, and it's better than what you think it is. It's better than what people who have not been here think it is, for sure.
Right. People think we're still wearing 10-gallon hats and riding horses.
Well, I do.
Well, I mean,
I have what one might consider a ridiculously large hat that I'm very proud of.
That's at Northeast Oklahoma, though.
I've always had a big fat head, so getting your 4.25-inch brim, I specifically get a 5-inch brim because it makes my head look smaller.
That's like my grandpa. I was over at their house one time, and he gave me like a nice brown felt. I think it might have been a Resistol. But he was like, but then my grandma told me, she was like, you might not want to wear that in public because he cut the brim on it like real short, so it looks like Indiana Jones hat or something.
Oh, it looks like a fedora.
Yeah, it was weird looking, but yeah. But
hey, everybody's got their own style. Like when I buy mine, it's a rounded crown and flat brim, and I just start steaming it and get it shaped the way I want it. And I do take it up to have them put eyelets, the holes in it, and all that stuff because I'm not that crazy.
Right.
I don't want to mess it up, but like I get my style on it, and then allow them to finish the ventilation.
So probably where is the biggest store biggest Western store in? Okay.
Oklahoma City is Langston's.
I was about to say Langston's.
Yeah, that's the one that has been here forever. Now started up down by the stockyards. Mm-hmm. Whenever you're talking about Western wear in Oklahoma City,
right,
Langston's, and it's kind of like Cattleman Steakhouse. It's a tradition. Mm-hmm. It may not be your favorite steak in the city, but it's part of Oklahoma City. It's part of the history and the lore.
Right. I didn't know that we were in the stockyards down in Fort Worth, and they have one there too. I was like,
Oh yeah.
It's kind of weird, but yeah.
What, the Cattleman Steakhouse?
Yeah.
Different people, different ownership, I'm pretty sure.
Yeah, I was about to say, because somebody told me, because I asked somebody, they went there, I said, so were the waiters wearing bonnets and stuff? And they said no, and I was like, it's different than the one in OKC.
Yeah, no, they were both started back before the day of incorporated, trademark franchise.
Copyright. Yeah, they were founded back in the olden days.
Yeah.
Oh man,
Gentleman's OKC, no relation.
Yeah, don't compare us to that one in Fort Worth.
But I've had them both. They're both pretty good.
Oh yeah. I went to, what was that one place I went to? I don't know if it's still there. Teeners. That was a good store too.
Yeah. Actually, that's where I bought my last hat from.
Oh yeah, okay.
They're still alive and kicking.
Yeah. Oh man.
Which is hard to do. Keep a privately owned business. Something that's not part of a national chain or have a corporation behind it. So, yes, let's go ahead and mention Teeners as well.
Yeah. I remember we found that accidentally. I can't remember if we went to the state tournament or something and we went to eat. And we stopped in there, and yeah, it's a really cool store. I like it. It's a lot cheap, kind of not as expensive as Langston's, but
Yeah, and like what was it? Oh, it's a store that looks like you ever watch Yellowstone?
yeah.
It's a store that looks like Beth Dutton threw up all over it. Like straight out of that show, man.
Yeah.
And that was before that show existed. They've been like that. So I guess, they've been on the cutting edge
Yeah.
of women's Western fashion.
Yeah. That's like I had a girl on here and she lives in Jackson Hole. And she had never seen it before, but she said, yeah, that's the joke about it, about the town and stuff. Yeah, because a bunch of tourists come in there now and stuff. And
yeah. Celebrities ruin that place.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, definitely. Well, that's like Fort Worth now. I mean, yeah, they definitely Yellowstone. I mean, Yellowstone's a good show, and I mean, look at what it's done for most of. Well, who was it? Zach Bryan. I mean,
Yeah.
it's crazy. Bunch of them guys. That's what I liked about Taylor when he did the sound, like the music. He took guys like people that probably never even heard of. Like, when's the last time you saw Whiskey Myers on a TV show or Shane Smith and the Saints?
Right.
I was like, oh man, yeah, it's crazy. See,
that's one of the things that drew me into that show was the soundtrack, and I was like,
yeah, exactly.
Putting this thing together actually is from the area and knows the scene a little bit.
Right. That's like my cousin. He does he does silver work, and he did buckles for the 4-6s. For them
That's
guys.
Awesome.
Yeah, and then Trevor Brazil was on some podcast, and they asked him, they're like, "Who made your belt buckle?" He's like, "Tanner Crow made that out of Apache, Oklahoma." I was like, "Hey." But yeah, his brother's a cowboy artist too. He does all the cowboy art and stuff. He had Red Steagle at his wedding.
Oh, really?
Yeah. Yeah.
I haven't seen Red Steagle since I was a kid.
I was like, Yeah, I think, they performed. That's right. Yeah.
Yeah.
Cause,
back in the, I'm so old that I remember when the National Finals Rodeo was in Oklahoma City, and and the PRCA convention was in Denver, Colorado.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah, that's how old I am.
That's how it should be. It should be back at the big house.
Yeah, but I did. It went to Las Vegas, and it's been a good thing for the sport. It's been a good thing. It's just not as small time, I guess. It's at the big time, and it's the glitz and glam of Las Vegas, and for 2 to 3 weeks there, between the PBR and the NFR, it's like all the rednecks come to Las Vegas and take that town for about a month. Yeah.
Yeah, but now the PBR's at Globe Life in Fort Worth. I mean, in Arlington.
Oh, really?
Yeah. Yeah, they changed that. Well, this year was the first year they did that.
That's probably a good move.
Yeah. Of course, it was cool during COVID and when the NFR came to Fort Worth came to Arlington, but they had Cowboy Christmas in Fort Worth. And that was really cool.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was a sight to see. So, you got any more stories on the road, especially with these Rod of Fort guys?
Oh, yeah. For all you up-and-coming youngsters, if I can give you a piece of advice, you think you want a bus. You think you want a bus until you get a bus.
Mm-hmm.
And by get a bus, I mean, if you're leasing a bus, that's fine. Like, if you're leasing a bus, number one, you're doing very well and you don't need any of my advice. to begin with. But if you're going to want to like get an older bus and buy it and fix it up, and let me tell you right now, it's the worst idea that you could possibly have. I've learned more about diesel mechanic and air brakes and all that stuff on the side of a road broke down in the middle of nowhere. Rain, sleet, and snow, 100 degrees in New Mexico, and the only thing dumber than buying a bus is to buy a second one when the first one breaks down. I don't care how good a deal it is. Do not let yourself get talked into it. Get yourself, one of the little vans because it's new and you don't have to worry about it leaving you stranded anywhere. Sure, it's not as glamorous, but you know what? It will also not leave you stranded on the side of the road in Colorado going up Raton Pass, halfway on the shoulder, halfway in the lane, come around a blind and almost dying several times as you're trying to get people to move over. It's a life flash before your eyes, trying to get this thing to cool down enough to get up the rest of the hill. Yeah, there are some stories.
That's like I was talking one time to Randall King's bus driver. He was here in Wichita, and he was telling me that the hardest thing that he had was he was driving for Bree Bagwell, and they were going to Steamboat Springs. And he said, yeah, going up that hill, he said, it's not pretty. And he said, it's not pretty coming down either.
It's bad weather?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, Steamboat time, so yeah, it'd be, what was that, February, January? Yeah. Yeah, it's not pretty. Yeah, I was looking at, I see that a lot of people now, they're like letting guys, different artists are borrowing buses,
Yeah, well, I mean, you can write them out and stuff, and that's what I'm saying. Most of the time, what you want to do is, if you can lease the bus, and that means if that bus breaks down, they have to bring you a new bus. You
don't own it though.
You don't have to drive it. It's just.
There's a cover band out in Faxon where I used to live called Crosswind, and they have like a old timey, like a retro looking tour bus, and they don't drive. They'll drive it like to Chatty, which is like 10 minutes, or to Temple.
Yeah, dude.
But I'm like, why do you have a bus? Oh man, that's funny. But yeah,
I will say this: it is nice to have, because a lot of times, guys are playing shows that are only a couple hours away, so it's like, oh, I'll save money. I'll just drive back, which is never a good idea. So having a bus, I like to equate it as to being an anti-DUI machine. So you just go out to the parking lot, pass out, and whenever you want to go home or whatever, the bus takes you home, or if you don't, then by the time you're ready to drive, you're sober again, and it saves you thousands of dollars in the long run.
Plus, you ain't got to stay at the sketchy ass motels.
Oh yeah, like,
dude, I've stayed at some pretty sketchy places. I'm looking at my brother and I'm like, what, are you sure this is the place? Yeah, it's not bad.
Yeah. No. That's once you've had scabies once. Explain to your lady that this is not a venereal disease. I literally got this from a hotel, not a person. Take this cream, it'll go away.
Well, is it scabies or scurvy that coconut milk also takes it away?
Well, scurvy sailors used to get from lack of vitamin C, so I doubt it's that.
Yeah.
But it's from scabies.
Yeah. Oh man, that's crazy. So, y'all working on anything in the studio right now or anything?
No, we keep talking about it, and you know, it's to be honest, kind of on the back end of doing less and less. You know, we hit it hard for a long time. Had 3 albums. I count the first one we recorded in my garage. That is an album, and there is songs that made it to radio stations. So
hey,
it was
pretty good.
Bad.
Yeah.
It's bad. Don't get me wrong. That bad. So 2 studio albums, and then I'd like to probably cut about 4 to 6 more tracks, and then because I don't think I have that much to say. And if you, as an artist, you know, you wanna do your music and everything, and the older I get, the more I realize that, you know, other people are doing it better. It you know, it's kind of like chili. This is my flavor of chili, and you know, some people taste and they're like, "Oh man, that chili amazing," and you know, the people are like, "Well, I like this other chili better." So it doesn't mean they're wrong, you know. And it's like, for me, I've never been a huge fan of myself. I've always been a big fan of, you know, other songwriters that, you know, that I respect and look up to. So whenever I'm putting something together, it's for me, it's got to be something that I really do believe that I've maybe not said anything original, because let's be honest, there's nothing new under the sun.
Right.
We've been around a long time, and I'm sure Ugg and his Cade had very similar thoughts to, you know, what I'm having now. It just sounded more like or whatever, you know.
Yeah.
But think of ourselves as special individual little rays of sunshine that no one else is like. But really, we're all just kind of the same. There's like, in the entire world, there's probably like 11 people tops, and everybody else is just different looking versions of those 11 people. Unfortunately, I'm not of that, you know, I'm not the same person as Bruce Springsteen or, you know, Steve Earle or other songwriters that I respect. I'm one of the other ones. So I'll do my little, you know, songs that I think are, you know, pretty good, and some people think they're really good, and I'll be happy with that. But I don't want to do anything that I look back on and I'm ashamed of. So what I do from here on out is definitely going to be something that, you know, is real,
right?
And then at least I think is pretty decent.
Yeah, I'll know something's wrong if I'm listening to music and I hear a snap track in it or something. I'll be like, CJ, you all right there, buddy?
The drum tracks instead of our drummer.
Yeah. You hear
it. I've been very proud of, for the most part, everything we recorded, you know, with a couple of exceptions. Like, there was this one song on the last album that I was like, I want a cello on this part. I know we're never going to have a cello. But this song right here, what I've heard in my head and how I want it to come out, there's a cello in it. So we got a cello player come out, and when it added that one little thing, it's just like, there it is, baby. Perfect.
Yeah, that's like.
But other than that, if we can't replicate it live on stage, we don't do it. You know.
I think it was, of course, like the rock band Skillet. First time I saw them, of course, it was years ago. I've never seen somebody, like, they brought out a violin player, and I was like, okay. And then all of a sudden, they just started going into playing one of their songs. And I was like, wow. But I don't think there's many people like that out there. If you're out there and you can play a cello with these guys and get into the crowd, hit him up.
No, here's the thing with that. It's kind of like um, if you add a cello player to the band, that means you're going to have cello on every song.
Yeah.
That's like why we've never added a full-time keyboard player. Because like, hey, not every song needs a piano or a keyboard. So
right.
And then what do you do? Unless that person also goes, oh, well, I can also do this. And if they can do that, they usually toured with somebody already. So they're not going to be playing with our little podunk.
Right. That's like Matt Moran. I'd never seen him live before, but like hearing his stuff, it's like good. And he played a show, and I didn't know they didn't have a bass player. What it is his brother plays keys for him, and he can play bass on there also. And it sounds really damn good. Like I was like, wow. Then he does harmonies too, and I'm like, dang, he does it all.
Yeah, that is something like if I know I'm going to piss off all the bass players out there. There's two of you that may be listening to this, but you can replace a bass player with a piano player, and it gives you more flexibility for sure. So that on the left hand they're laying down the bass, but then you got to remember on the right hand they feel like they got to do something with that too. So like I said, once you got a keyboard player in the band, they're on every song.
Right. I think Gannon Freeman and them, when they started out, they had a keys player. And it wasn't before too long they were like, cut him out.
Yeah, and it's. I mean, what do you got to do? Tell the guy, hey, just on this song, sit down.
Yeah.
Don't do nothing. We don't want you on this song at all. Because that's not cool. That's not being
right
a member of the band. That's
go sell a t-shirt.
Oh, right. Yeah, not cool.
Yeah.
I think that's probably a big reason why I've never tried harder to get full-time keyboard players, because you never want to have that discussion. Okay, just stop. Don't do anything.
Yeah. You had your moment of fame. Now just chill. That's like Tony Kent. Of course, he plays keys, but I mean, he does other things like when Whiskey Myers plays Home, he gets out there and he hits that cowbell on the stage and everything and gets them hyped. But it seems like I got a guy coming on here in a couple weeks named Slam Jones, and he plays keys for Mike Ryan, but he can play anything else. I mean, he's
Well, there's a lot of guys out there that are multi-talented. God, I hate them so much for having all that talent, sharing any of it with the rest of us.
Right. That's like, what was it? That's like, I told my brother one time, I was like, just stick me on a triangle or something. I'll just stand in the corner. And I told him, I said, why don't you just give me like a guitar and unplug it, and it'd be a prop, and I'm just standing there.
You know what nobody has anymore that people would go wild for at least one song. Play the washboard.
Dude, so
slap the washboard on, over, and just get you some spoons, just play the shit on that washboard.
You say that. I got a buddy that he's got one, and he made an electric one. Like it's got it can plug into an amp, dude. Shout out to
have to write a cage and some Zydeco tune just now so we could put a washboard in a song.
Yeah, shout out to Scott Pinion, by the way, the baddest washboard player in Southwest Oklahoma. But yeah, he's badass with it. Like at first, the first time, it was just he got it. He found it at a yard sale, and he played it. Well, then he started making he made these gloves, and he's got bottle caps on them. And when they play a cover of Long Hot Summer Day or something, he'll get up there, play it and stuff, or Gin Smoking Lies. But yeah, he made an electric washboard. He was telling us about it. I was like, "You made it electrical?" He's like, "Yeah." And then
How did it pick up?
I was like, "That is badass." But yeah, when he got on stage, people would just go crazy. He played with Bobby Dale and when they played his scooters, and then I think he got on there with Jeremy and them one time. But yeah, it was badass. I was like, who would have ever thought? For real.
It's now that may just be one song.
Right.
It's worth it for that one song. But what a great gig would that be? Just get up for one song, bring down the house, and walk up stage and boom, done.
Yeah. And just sit there, they'll just go backstage and chill and be like, I'm done.
These jerks are going to be up here for another hour or two.
They got to do another set. Yep, I'm going to go drink in the back. See y'all later.
I'm going to the green room.
Yeah, I'm going to the green room.
I'll see you losers later.
Yeah. Oh, man. So, where was your favorite place you ever played at?
Oh.
Big and small. It don't matter.
Yeah, that's what I was trying. Big is probably, we did Hank Fest here in Oklahoma City, and it's quite a production, and that's where they're bringing a lot of the big artists, and that's right here. So I don't have to go anywhere and drive across town, play, and just hang out and have a good time without all the travel and all that. So definitely that's pretty cool. But small venue.
Did y'all play at Heritage in Ardmore any?
No, I have not.
Okay, I couldn't remember if y'all did or not. Because I remember I saw y'all,
I went to a show there.
Oh, yeah.
Whenever Cody Jenks came through.
Okay.
And, Casper McWade opened up for him, so, but it was Casper, and he told me that Randy Travis was going to be backstage that night. I was like, dude. I got to meet Randy Travis that night. And I don't get me wrong, I enjoyed the show. It was, Jason and Josh Ward and Casper McWade.
Mm-hmm.
Great show. But I got to meet Randy Travis.
Well, that's he's been, of course, I think, if I remember right, he lives in Aubrey, Texas.
Yeah. Something down around there, and he's still. I don't know if he'll ever fully recover from the stroke, so he can't communicate very well. But his wife is very nice, and he's very nice, and he enjoyed the show for sure. Cody Jinks did Digging Up Bones, and
that's awesome.
I was watching Randy Travis watch Cody Jinks do Digging Up Bones, and that was cool.
Well, that's Travis Tritt played there at Heritage, I remember. And they got him on stage there, too.
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
So, I guess so. He's got to be there pretty close.
Because, that's right, he does live in Aubrey, because I got a buddy from Elgin that he's his neighbor. And I was like, that is crazy.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. I was like, who would have ever thought? But yeah, that was a sad deal. Of course, he got the he got the DUI, and then like what was it? A day after that, he had a stroke. God.
Oh, speaking of that area, Medicine Park.
Oh,
Love Medicine Park.
You can't go wrong with Medicine Park.
Yeah, they used to have Red Dirt Fest down there. They did the Blues Festival and the Red Dirt Festival, and we played several years down there with a lot of great people, and just great time. Just the area is beautiful. Like people who've never been there have no idea. It's just this little hidden treasure.
It really is.
North of the Lawton. I mean, you go to Lawton and you're like, ugh.
Yeah, scooters.
30 miles north of there, it's like, oh, this is gorgeous. You got Mount Scott and the lake, and you got Mears. You ever ate at Mears?
I'll tell you this. All right, that's a touchy subject because everyone thinks Mears is like the spot. There's a spot right before you get to Mears, just a little past Lake Latonka, and it's called Ann's Country Kitchen. And dude, it is so much better, and it's more cheaper too. And there's
I have ate there. It's good, but it doesn't have that. It's not that destination type thing.
Yeah, I guess so.
It's good. It's good. I got chicken fried steak there. It's good,
dude.
And it is like I love diners, and everything. But what I went to, did the burgers and stuff at Mears, and one time I went and they had ribeye, and they bring out the ribeye roast, and they have it on a platter, and they hold the knife above it and go, "How thick do you want it?" And you're like, "A little more, a little more." Right there, and they cut it right there, like boom, that's your steak. Came from that. Came from cow. That came from that natural. Roto, like, this is badass.
I saw him licking his ass in the refuge about 2 miles ago. No, but yeah, I mean, of course you get Mears Gold, which that is like their homemade beer there. But yeah, actually, Ann's they built another location right next to it, and it's bigger. So like, it's not that little bitty place,
Yeah, and it was kind of like on the intersection of a highway and one of the other roads. Yeah, or maybe it's 2 highways.
Yeah, it's kind of weird. It's just like off the road, kind of, but yeah. I don't know, but yeah. Ann's has a good buffalo burger. That's just like, oh.
Next time I'm down there, I'll just try it.
Yeah.
Speaking of which, there's a pizza place down in Fletcher, or Eldon or Fletcher, that I'm supposed to try. It's got like huge. I think they do like Chicago style deep dish or something. Have you heard anything about that?
Oh, would it be Pizza Corral?
Maybe. Yeah, the name didn't like jump out when I heard it. I was like, really? That's okay. Well, people swear by it.
I was about to say there's a burger place in Elgin that they got. It's called Boom Paws, and they got big old burgers. But yeah, Fletcher doesn't really have. They used to have a pizza place, but that was like years ago. They don't really have anything anymore. So yeah, it's probably Pizza Corral in Elgin. Maybe.
I'll have to check my. We have a group called the Fat Guy Club on Facebook, and it's a bunch of food-related stuff.
Oh, that's
kind of says it all.
Dude, so we went to Kendall's the other day up in Noble. And, first time I went there was so good and everything. We went there this time, and they were so rude and everything. I was like, my mom and my wife, they're like, we won't be back here.
Yeah, I mean, I've tried it twice, and it's the biggest chicken fried steak for sure.
Yeah, it is.
But it is not. It's not the best, and I do like that place, and those people are wonderful.
Mm-hmm.
If anybody's listening who knows them, I'm not talking any shit on anybody, but I'm saying, in my opinion, like I say, everybody's got different opinions.
Right.
It is not the best chicken fried steak.
Yeah, I want to go try this place. There's a place in Sterling, Texas called Mary's, and they're supposed to have like the best. Like people say that place, like it's always packed and everything, and it's just like this little hole in the wall cafe deal, and they say it's like the best chicken fry.
Really?
Yeah, I
Well,
know.
that may be worth a drive.
I know Co Wetzel, of course, he lives around there, but I know he ate there not too long ago, and yeah, he even said it's like on social media, he's like, it's always good and everything, but yeah.
Mm. Speaking of food, I got to give a shout out to my friends up the. There's this bar up here in Midwest City called the Landing Zone, and it's kind of where we started out playing, and we still play there every now and again because it's like family. But you walk in there, and it's one of those places where you walk in someplace, you be like, they serve food here?
Yeah.
Who would eat here? Kind of thing. But then you eat there, and you're like, oh, man, it is you. I will go up there just to eat. Not even to drink, just to eat.
Were they on Discover Oklahoma?
I don't know.
I think I've heard of
They
it.
haven't been. They should be because they're pretty famous for their ribeyes and which is anything that comes out of that kitchen is nothing short of wonderful.
Right. I think I've heard of that actually. I think. I don't quote me on it, but I think I have.
Yeah, it's definitely not some place that you go walk into and like, I want a steak. But trust me, you do.
Well, that's like there's a place in Lawton. Of course, sadly, they're not open 24 hours anymore. It's a truck stop. Did y'all ever play like at Foo Bar or anything?
A food bar?
Foo Bar, Fubar.
Like a bad show?
No,
Bar?
no, that's the bar's name.
Oh no.
Okay.
No.
Did y'all play?
I was going to say, I have played some pretty food bar places, yeah, but no place actually named food bar.
Yeah, that's the name of the bar, Foo Bar. But did y'all play at Scooters?
No.
Okay, I couldn't remember, but
Been there and have watched friends play there, but never actually had a show there.
okay. Of course, sadly, they're shut down. But yeah. Anyways, there's a place like when you're like right past the casinos, you know that turn off like where you can go to Dunkin' kind of on the interstate. So you take that exit and you go down the road a little bit. You go right, and there's a diner right here, but there's a truck stop next to it. It's called Leo and Ken's. Oh, they got the best. They said you walk in there, you're like, I mean, it's a truck stop, but it's you wouldn't expect to have the best food there, and oh my gosh.
They're hit and miss, man. But whenever you get a good one, it's always right with the world, and everything is as it should be.
Right, but it was nice when they were open 24 hours because like you get done playing at Foo Bar, for instance, or something. You just go right down the road to it. But yeah, after COVID, they stopped being open 24 hours because me and my wife we were in Lawton for something, and I was so excited. I was telling her I was like, "We're going here," because I kept hyping it up, and then we get there and then I see they're closed, and I'm like, "Damn!" And I called the number. They were like, "Yeah, it said we're only open till 6 o'clock now on weekdays," and I was like, in the weekends, and I was like, "Crap." But yeah.
Yeah, it's always good to have a place where you can go have breakfast and watch a fight.
Yeah. Well, especially because you got the casinos right there, and then you got there's a couple of times that I thought some people were going to get in fights with the waitresses, but they didn't. They didn't though.
These are the people who bring you your food. You may not. There's a lot that can happen between where you can't see and your table. You should really always be nice to the service staff.
Right, exactly. And they're working the graveyard, and it's like going to Waffle House, and you might see a fight there, but you're like, why would?
They watch social media. It seems like Waffle House.
Yeah.
The new like they've trademarked the dinner in a show.
Yeah. Well, what was it? That one manager threw a chair at somebody. I was like, dang.
I've seen some pretty crazy stuff at Waffle House. If they didn't have the scattered, smothered cats and peppered, I probably wouldn't go there.
Yeah.
And as mentioned before, I am a fat ass, so I will definitely go to Waffle House at 3 a.m. in the morning and pound down like 2,000 of the worst kinds of calories you can possibly ingest as a human being.
Yeah.
And then go home and sleep.
They're like, you get a bowl, and they're like, you want gravy on that? And we're like, yeah.
It's you got to put more shame in. It's more like, yeah.
Yeah. Of course, you're usually like freaking hammered or something, and you'll be like, yeah, give me some of that gravy.
Put some on my milkshake.
Yeah. There's another place in Denton, and there's a little tavern called Jack's right there, but there's a place next to it called Fat Shack. And dude, this is like I compare it to a stoner's food paradise because talk about calories. They've got sandwiches that have one has chicken strips and fries and cheese sticks on it and just macaroni cheese and all kinds of stuff, dude.
Yeah.
It's amazing. It's so good. But yeah. Shout out to Fat Shack. Don't you ever stop serving.
You're doing the Lord's work.
Yeah. Yeah.
By the Lord's work, I mean bringing people back home to Jesus before their time on the coronary episode.
I want to go out to Vegas just once and go to that Heart Attack Cafe because I know I can eat there for free.
Damn. I walked by and I was like, maybe I could, maybe I couldn't. But do I want to feel like that for the rest of the time here? Or, even if you save it to the end of the trip and then you need it, then you got to fly back with that. And it's just like, there's no good time. I want to enjoy this. No, I have nothing to prove to myself or this restaurant chain.
I don't want to get spanked either. No.
I'm just gonna go across the street to White Castle and pound about 20 cents.
It's like you walk in there and of course they weigh you and everything, and I'll just be like, I'm sure people look at people like when they come in, and there's got to be like, I just imagine it's saying like free, like lights and like all kinds of shit going on, and I'm just like, yeah, I don't think I want to be associated with that. Oh man. Well, man, it's been a good old time on here, and
we've literally covered all the subjects and lightly brushed on music.
Yeah.
Music is a passion, but that's not the only passion. Damn it!
Food. Right. Yeah, we had a history lesson and got to talk about food.
Talk so much about food, I think I just developed diabetes.
Well, I mean, two fat guys talking on the phone. I mean, of course, food's going to come up.
Oh yeah, I'm not complaining.
No, and it's like, I might need to try that next time.
Right. If anything, we brought people closer together and give them some good suggestions of, go listen to my band Riders Forge, and then go to those restaurants.
yeah, exactly. We're talking.
You might like both of them. If you don't like the band, don't tell me. I don't care. I enjoy doing it, so it's not gonna stop me. I'm gonna keep spreading my evil all over the place.
It's like we told them, we attracted them to come see y'all, and then we told them about good places to go after the show.
It's nothing else. My show after we're done tearing down, and follow us to wherever we're going to eat.
Yeah. Yeah. So who's in your band?
So me and drummer Sean Garrison. He's been with me the longest. Not the first drummer. As a matter of fact, he likes to tell the story. The first time he tried out for the band, he didn't get the spot. but our fates were intertwined a couple of years after that. And then a lead guitarist is Clint Pope. Fantastic. You'll hear his work all over the last album, which we did here in Del City. And that was, it's called Second Half Life, because it's our second studio album. There's a track called Second Half Life about divorce from the woman's perspective. I wrote this one from the woman's perspective. I think I did pretty good. I got in touch with my family side. And
you're like, hey, honey, if you ever divorced me, what would you do?
No, this was after the divorce, the first divorce.
Oh yeah.
To clarify, there's only been one divorce so far.
So far, there might be another one after this.
No, she didn't listen to this. She don't care.
Hey, nobody listens to this shit. You're good. All right, you warned it.
Whatever you want. Throw some anti-Semitism. It'll never get out there.
You warned everybody about this before.
If we did that, I'm sure that's how I would get famous. Famous, like infamous about some stuff I said I was kidding about, and like, this is how it works. Okay. Oh, and also in the band, our multi-instrumentalist, a dude named David Short. He has played with David Allan Coe. And,
oh wow!
Yeah, he's been around since he was a kid. This is what he's been his entire life. He plays everything except for guitar. And he can't play guitar, just everybody else plays guitar, so there's no need for that. But fiddle and harmonica, he can drum, he plays the lap steel, he can play a pretty mean kazoo.
He even plays with himself.
He's the kind of guy that you were talking about with, you saw with Skillet. It's like he does a version of Voodoo Child on
wow.
Distortion. If you've never seen it, it's life changing. When you do, it's pretty epic. And
then change your life. We're going to change lives on this thing.
And then we just got a new bass player a couple months ago. His name is Jason Hunt. Super talented dude. Also plays several instruments, but for us alone, he's played bass and lead guitar, and he was even working on some other instruments. So I'm like, no, that's good. That's plenty.
He's like, I got my accordion that I'm working on. I'll bring that in.
Yeah, and he's a singer-songwriter, and he does a lot of Irish folk music.
Oh, so wow.
That's a whole different spin. So yeah, that's pretty cool. And those are the guys we got, right? And it's a pretty strong group.
I saw an Irish group one time, and they brought out I'd never heard of it, but a Jingling Johnny.
I have not heard of it.
It's like this. It's like this thing, and it's like this big old cylinder looking thing, and I think it's Of course, it's got to be brass, but
Oh, so it's an instrument.
yeah, it's an instrument. It's a real thing.
Okay.
Yeah, but
You saying that was the name of the band, Jingle and Johnny? I was like,
no, the instrument is called a jingle and Johnny, and of course, I was like maybe 13 when I heard it. Yeah. Well, I was at a Christian show, so can't be drunk at those.
oh, can't you though? Can't you? Some might argue that it's a prerequisite just to be able to make it through a Christian show. Is that to have to get hammered? Front row,
Yeah.
scared, but Jesus playing the lead guitar.
And I'm hammered in an angel band. Oh man, I love that movie.
The funny thing is, a lot of people say, men or women are different, blah, blah, blah. I'm like, look, men are a creature unto themselves where we can have an entire conversation in movie quotes. Women talk about their feelings.
For real.
We quote movies, and that's how we choose to communicate.
Yeah, definitely, especially Step Brothers. Or like, oh man. Of course, the best movie about music of all time would have to be Walk Hard, the Dewey Cox story.
Yes. Pretty good.
That's like my brother's drummer. We were at Bellstar in Purcell, and we were talking about his dad or something. He's like, my dad is like Dewey Cox's dad. He'd be like, the wrong kid died. Oh man, that's funny. But yeah, I mean, I don't know how many times I've listened to just that album from the movie. It's so good.
It's actually pretty good.
It really is. Like,
I know you're joking around and it's comedy and stuff, but it's pretty good, man.
It is. Like, I mean, you got the hits like "Let's Duet," "Guilty as Charged," and "Walk Hard." Of course, if y'all haven't seen that movie, "Walk Hard," with Dewey Cox, you're missing out.
I'm going to warn everyone who has not seen that movie. There is a really uncomfortable scene of penis hanging over a man's shoulder on the phone, and it goes on longer than it should.
He's talking to his wife too.
And it's just there. The entire scene is just there. And it's like, I'm getting uncomfortable. Like, it was funny, haha. Now it's just weird.
I know, it's like, what the heck? It's like, I didn't know that Tim Meadows was a manager. Or I didn't know that the Jews produced well, it'd be like Johnny Cash, so Johnny Cash's first record.
Right? Who knew?
Yeah, who knew? For real. Oh man.
Sons of Abraham have good taste in music, don't they? Yeah. They were also involved in the whole Motown movement and everything. Yeah.
Yeah, do you know Dewey Cox started punk music too? Because he's high on cocaine. Cocaine.
It's called heroin, Dewey. I'm going to be honest with you. There's nothing good about this.
Yeah. Get out of here, Dewey. You don't want none of this. Oh man. Or he's 14 and he's like a grown man. Well, I'm doing pretty good with a 14-year-old and a baby.
I don't know to watch that again now.
I know. That's what I'm saying. I think I'm going to go watch that again. I'm sure it's on some streaming service.
Oh, yeah. I'll find it.
Yeah, I have to find it.
I'm going to wrap this up. I got to get off here.
So where can people find you on those?
Be a rock star.
Yeah. So, are you doing this full time or?
Oh no. No, the best piece of advice I ever had is don't quit your day job, and I took that literally. But no, I'm actually an air traffic controller. So I work 40 hours a week, and then I go spend 6 to 8 hours at a venue every day on the weekend, Friday and Saturday, sometimes Thursday, Friday, Saturday, sometimes Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday. And that gets old. So, like I said, I'm kind of on the backside of making the big run and slowing down, tapering off, and playing more when I want to play and less feeling like I can play, I got to get out there. It's like, if I was going to, be famous, it would have already happened.
Yeah. Right.
I'm just going to enjoy the ride. And part of enjoying it is like not making it so much work,
Right. It's almost time for the casino circuit, huh?
It's funny because, you go to all the casinos in Oklahoma, and I can't tell you how many times I've heard we have a song called "Home to Oklahoma," and it's kind of like a Oklahoma swing tune, and it is played in every casino. I don't know if we're on a playlist or something, but people keep texting me like, "Hey, I hear your song at the casino." It's like, "Oh, that's awesome. Where's my royalties for this? Can I get like a little $5 voucher for roulette or something?"
Right.
Nothing. Not even free buffet. Nothing.
It's like not even at like the big casinos. It's not like Riverwind or something. It's like the small.
Oh no, it is. It's at the biggest ones. And it's like,
oh wow, that's awesome.
Like, hey, I don't know if you know this, but this is me singing to give me a free drink or anything.
Well, that's like
get out of here, you
Well, that's like Hard Rock. They do the featured artist, don't they? Like they do that commercial. Because like I know.
Yeah. And
Trig 4, Trig 5.
The Grand Casino does the one out here.
Oh yeah. I know I saw Mike on one, and I was like, "What the hell's Mike McClure doing?"
What the name of that is? But it was a pretty good series, and it's been going for about 4 years now, I say. So
yeah, that's awesome. But where can people find you on those social medias?
Okay, so it's Riders Ford, RIDERSFORD. I keep our schedule pretty current on ridersford.com. And if you go on there, you can see some old pictures.
Old pictures?
Yeah, I stopped maintaining the site about a couple of years ago, and it's just like the one thing that we do update is the shows. So just go there, look at the shows. And, I mean, there's some good pictures in there. We've had some pretty cool shows and everything, but really everything's kind of gone to social media. But we don't like to pound people on social media. So what we'll do is we'll go at the beginning of the week, one little thing. Here, we're playing here and here. And that's it. That's all you're going to hear from Riders Ford. We're not going to try to, fill up your news feed. We just like do a little information bomb, boom. So whenever you like us or follow us, don't feel scared that you're going to get spammed to death. It's just like we're not trying to sell you anything. Here it is. If you want to come, cool. If not, we're going to get paid to be there either way. So
yeah, that's like
we'll be there. You're invited. You don't have to come.
You're not going to be doing like a social, like a Instagram video or TikTok. Be like, hey guys, come see us at so and so every day. You got 2 days left.
Vision of hell is exactly that. It's like the fact that I live in a world where the term influencer is a thing that just blows my mind to no extent, and it really upsets me. So you are not going to see a whole lot from me. I don't even manage our social media stuff. That's what Sean, the drummer, does. He's great at it. Fantastic. And he does all that, and I just get up there and sing songs and dance like a monkey.
Look pretty. No. Oh man, that's funny. Well, what do y'all got coming up?
Oh, I really should have done my research before this. I tell where we just played. I forgot a couple things coming up. But I can't tell you what they are right off the top of my head. So again, ridersford.com. Go to the schedule, check it out. And,
I like how you plug that in. I like how you got that plug in right there.
Yeah, there you go.
Yeah. Oh man. Well, CJ, man, it's been a good time, and we'll definitely have to have you on here again.
I tried to be nothing if not completely full of shit, so you're welcome. Hey, thanks, man. Thanks for having me on. It's a good conversation. I enjoyed it. I hope maybe the 3 to 4 people that were listening tonight got a giggle or two before they shut it off and got sick of us talking about food.
Yeah. All them vegetarians out there, they'll be like, "Oh my gosh, I'm turning this off right now."
Let's be honest, they're not listening to us.
Yeah, they enlisted. They're too busy. They're too busy doing other things.
Like I said, not their flavored chili for sure.
Yeah, that's their. You talking about influencer?
There you go. Man, well, it's good talking to you, and good luck on your project, man. I hope it blows up for you.
Thanks, man. I appreciate it. Yeah, I looked and I'm booked out until August, and I'm working on August right now. So yeah, I've been hitting it pretty hard.
Oh yeah, that's awesome.
Yeah, and of course, Riders Ford this is a big one right here, but
well, I don't know about that, but thank you.
I'm
not a pretty girl. You don't have to lie to me.
So you're saying you're gonna put out no matter what?
Yeah, pretty much. And on that note.
Yeah. On that note, we'll see. But getting some bigger interviews now, so working on it. Getting Warner hit me up, which was crazy, dude. They emailed me.
Really?
Yeah. And
the label?
One of their agents messaged me, and I was like, "Who the hell is this?" So my wife told me she's like, "Well, write them back and be like," because they said something about, "Are you interested in any of our artists?" And she said, "Write them back and ask them who their artists are." Well, they gave me the whole roster, and it's like Parker McCollum, Lainey Wilson, like all these people, and I'm just like, "Oh my gosh, I couldn't believe it."
It's like, nah, I'll pass.
Nah, I got Riders Ford coming on.
How many boxes can I check?
Yeah. Oh man.
Like, let's put it this way. How many of them will come on my show?
Exactly. Well, that's like, I'm buddies with Dwayne Bryan, and of course Zach was one of them. And I wrote her back. I was like, "Yeah, I've talked to Dwayne about Zach, and then I'm also buddies with Tanner Usra. His dad. Me and his dad talk a lot, especially during football season because his dad's a big OU fan."
Very nice.
Yeah, but he's smart. But I've talked to Tanner too, and Tanner's interested. So yeah, and I did not know that Tanner was on there. I was like, whoa. But yeah. So yeah, it's growing slowly but surely.
Oh yeah, man. Well, you keep plugging at it, you'll be Joe Rogan someday.
No, I'm taking Joe Rogan's spot. Joe Rogan Joe Rogan and Theo Vaughn ain't got nothing on this show.
Oh yeah, boy.
Yeah. All right, buddy.
All right. Well, good talking to you, and again, take her easy, and congratulations on the success, man.
Thanks, appreciate it. You too, man.
All right, we'll see you.
All right, bye. Let's face it, the worst thing to deal with after a storm is the damage. That's why I personally recommend Elite Roofing and Restoration. They'll walk you through the process. They also offer many different services, including HVAC, electrical, garage door repair, and so much more. So why don't you give them a call for a free estimate at 405-443-7979 or send them an email at eliteroofingYukon@gmail.com. They'll work with you. And at Elite Roofing, their motto is honesty, integrity, and transparency. Well, folks, I think that's going to do it for another episode of It's Crow Time. I want to thank Mr. CJ Stayton of Riders Forward for chatting with us today. Make sure you go listen to their music and download it. Riders Forward on all streaming platforms. Go give them a like on Facebook, Riders Forward, and give them a follow on all social medias at Riders Forward. But with that being said, we want to thank our sponsors as always, and make sure you give us a like on Facebook. Follow us on Instagram. Subscribe to our YouTube channel. Subscribe to Apple if you use Apple Podcasts, or follow us on Spotify so that you'll be notified when a new episode drops, just like this one. And once again, we want to thank our sponsors, as always. Elite Roofing, What's Up 940, Spur One Management, and Lazenby Landscaping. And with that being said, we hope you enjoyed the Crow Time experience. This is Emmett Crow, as always, saying good night, everybody.